Hey guys, it's Dawn. I got the spring cleaning bug and I want to work on my creative room today. So this is the room where I keep my bookshelves and my writing desk. So I just thought it could use a revamp, use some dusting and some reorganizing. And then I thought it would be fun when I'm finished with that to give you guys a tour and kind of talk about how I designed the area, what I hope to do with it in the future, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're going to be doing right now. So hopefully you enjoyed that. The first part of this video is going to be the cleaning, and then I will go on to the tour later. So I'll leave timestamps down in the description in case you want to skip straight to the tour or whatever you want to watch. So let's do this. The books I'm getting rid of. The Fifth Doll by Charlie N. Holmberg. It was a fun read. I just felt like the concept wasn't fully realized. The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. I just don't see myself rereading it. I tried to read the second book and got very bored. It feels very much like a middle book in all the worst ways, unfortunately. So I probably will finish the trilogy at some point, but I'll just borrow it from my library. So I don't really see any point holding on to this book. And then lastly, we have Trail of Lightning by Rebecca Roanhorse. This book was kind of underwhelming. Loved the concept. It had a lot of potential, but I just think it was poorly realized. A lot of the pacing was weird and everything was just a little bit too convenient. Okay, a couple more books I'm getting rid of. I already have another copy of Rebecca. It's combined with two other books from Daphne du Maurier. I liked this one. I would have given it 4 stars except for the ending. I don't know, there's just something unsatisfying about it to me. So, but it's still a really good read. Highly recommend it. I have another copy of A Man Called Uva. I love this book so much, but I don't need 2 copies. This was a thrift store copy, and the other one was a library sale copy that I found literally a day after I found this one, and it's in better condition. So, no reason to have 2 copies, even though this book is incredible. 5 stars. And then I have 2 grammar references, and I prefer the other one, so I'm getting rid of this one. And lastly, Lone Survivor by Marcus Luttrell. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce his last name. Read it, enjoyed it, wouldn't reread it necessarily. It was interesting, but the guy is definitely a Texan and a Navy SEAL. He's very, very into himself in this book. Like, it's very much like, the Navy SEALs are amazing, I'm amazing, over and over again. But once you get to the actual incident in question, it's very interesting, but the rest of it's very like, okay, dude, we get it, you like yourself. Okay, guys, I am all done, and we are ready for the big reveal and tour. I feel like I'm building this up to be something super crazy, but it's just my creative room. It's not that big a deal, but I'm really excited. I like how it turned out. Start with the bookshelves. I still have the same display pieces on top with just some knickknack changes. So you can see on the left side, I have my Chekhov collection. I have an empty bottle of Leninade, which is hilarious to me. I also have a little military cap covered in tons of Soviet pins. And then we have a copy of The Elf and the Goblin. And then on the other side, these are actually my husband's books, but he's got a lot of Lord of the Rings things. So he's got Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, the David Day book, which is, I think it's an encyclopedia of Tolkien. I can speak English. It's fine. And then his favorite book, The Divine Comedy, and then just some other kind of fancy display looking books there that we're not as attached to, but they just look good. Eventually those 4 will be replaced with my 10th anniversary leather bound of The Way of Kings, but that has not arrived yet. I think it'll be here in a month or 2, so super excited for that. And then we also have a keepsake copy of The Network. And then for my last display, I've got 3 books up here. So I've got Vasilisa Prekrasnaya, which is a Russian fairy tale. I have one of the Tintin books in Russian. This is The 7 Crystal Balls. And then I have Batman, The Killing Joke. I love Batman. He's my favorite superhero. So, of course, I have to have a comic book. Then we have some sort of themed knickknacks. I've got a little Matryoshka doll. I've got this is actually a Mexican skull I got when we were on vacation, but it sort of goes with the crystal balls. Not really, whatever, it's fine. A little wooden wolf, and then Smaug, the dragon from Krakow. And then you can see I've got a couple little Ushanka pins. I've got the Ukrainian one, I've got the Russian Federation one, and then I've got some coins from when I was in the army. Here we have my Brandon Sanderson shelf. He gets his own shelf just because his books are so chunky that even if you only have a few of them, they take up a lot of space. So we've got all of the Stormlight Archive except for Oathbringer, which is loaned out. That's why I have Robert Jordan kind of filling in the gap right there. I've got Elantris, and then I've got The Way of Kings Prime and Dawn Shard, which were extra goodies in the 10th anniversary Way of Kings Kickstarter. Moving over here, this is my have-read fantasy shelf, excluding mass market paperbacks. So I did get rid of a couple today, so that's why I had to kind of fill in the space with my favorite book, The Goblin Emperor by Catherine Addison. But you can kind of see what sort of things I enjoy reading. This chunky, crowded boy down here is my haven't read shelf with the exclusion of Enchantment by Orson Scott Card. I just like displaying that one because I like having nice unbroken spines on my mass market paperbacks on this shelf. But these are all the adult fantasy that I need to read, and it's a lot. Most of these are thrift store finds, so trust me, I'm not like blowing my money, but yeah, your girl's behind on her TBR. My last fantasy shelf, with one exception, which is that little, oh, where's my finger? That little Nancy Drew book right there. This is my young adult, new adult shelf, so it's just, my not adult fantasy shelf. I think technically Peace and Turmoil by Elliot Brooks is not new adult, but I didn't have room for it on the other shelves, and I thought it looked nice on this shelf, so it probably won't stay here for long. It'll get moved around, but I don't think it's actually a young reader book. Next, we have my sci-fi shelf. I read a lot less sci-fi than I do fantasy, so that's why there's only one cubby. And sadly, I've only read one book on display here. I'm supposed to be reading Dune right now, but I haven't started it. I'm doing a book club with my sister. But the only thing I have read that's displayed here is I Am Not a Serial Killer by Dan Wells. And then I have the sequel right here, Mr. Monster, set aside for Halloween season this year. But yeah, I really need to work on my science fiction reading because it's kind of embarrassing to display all these books and I really haven't read them. Next, we have the rest of my fiction. So this cubby is historical fiction and literary fiction. And then we have my thriller and romance shelf, which I still think makes no sense, but just space-wise, it worked the best. So I have a lot of small press LDS thrillers, which I love. My favorite thriller author is Stephanie Black. She is so, 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 so good. So if you're looking for a clean thriller, seriously, just look up Stephanie Black. My favorite by her is Cold as Ice, which is a standalone, and then I love her Natalie Marsh series. So, so good. I love her books. Lastly, we have my classics shelf. We've got a lot of Dostoevsky, some Tolstoy, Solzhenitsyn. You can see I have a lot of Russian authors. And then I have a couple other random things, so like Catch-22, Tess of the D'Urbervilles. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's fine. Don't judge me. And a couple other things. Then over here we have this little cubby that I keep extra notebooks and stuff in. This is my book shopping bag or library bag. This is just random stuff in here. I've got like stickers, some face wipes when I'm doing late night writing and I need to refresh. I've got some cords for charging my electronics and just that kind of stuff. This is my mass market shelf, so it just excludes that little stack that was in the fantasy section. But this is a pretty good mix of mainly fantasy, but some other stuff. I've got some Stephen King. I've got The Wealth of Nations, some classics back there like Fahrenheit 451, The Giver, The Inferno. Just lots of different stuff on this shelf. My general nonfiction shelf. So behind you can't really see, but that's where all my writing resources are. But this stuff in front is what I'm currently reading, what I've borrowed from people, and what I've borrowed from the library. So these two books, Priory of the Orange Tree and Don't Call the Wolf, both have bookmarks in them because I DNF'd them for now because I was hating Don't Call the Wolf. I just was not enjoying it at all, and I'm not even sure if I will return to it. But something happened in Priory of the Orange Tree that just upset me, but otherwise I was enjoying it, so I do want to try to come back to that one. My religious favorites shelf, I've got some like collector edition books in there, and then just my favorite religious resources. And then my World War II shelf. So this is all of my favorite books from over the years that have been given as gifts or found myself. I have whittled down the collection in recent months, but I'm really happy with what I have right now. So that is all the books. Really like how these display sets up top turned out. Let's now turn our attention to my writing corner. First of all, I'll show you guys the different artwork and random poster type things I have hung on the wall. This one is very random and hard to explain, but it's a rail map of Europe that I bought years ago when I was trying to do research for a book that I thought would include some sort of train travel in Europe. Might come back to that someday, but that's why I have that, and I just thought it was cool. This is a map from one of my favorite video games ever, Red Dead Redemption 2. So I just thought it would be fun to have something that inspires me up here. Love the story in that game and all the character development. Really, really awesome game. This is just a little certificate I got from winning a little competition while I was in the Army. Not that big a deal, but I like having it just to remind me of the fun stuff I did in the Army. This is a record I found at the thrift store of some Russian folk songs. I thought the artwork was cute and fit my very Slavic aesthetic. Got some cute artwork here. This one says Dream On. This one was just pretty. I found that at the thrift store and just really liked it. There is, oh, hello, you can see me. There's a really bad glare on this poster, but this is a Stormlight Archive poster featuring the characters from Bridge 4. If you know, you know. If you haven't read it, that won't make any sense to you. But I got this as part of that 10th anniversary Kickstarter for Way of Kings that I mentioned already a bunch of times. But I love this poster. It's kind of like this map where it inspires me because I love the Stormlight Archive. I love what Brandon Sanderson does with his writing. So big inspiration to me. So it's nice to have in my writing area. Then of course we have my bulletin board just with some fun things on it. I haven't really updated my reading tracker for a while, so it's missing some books, but that's my reading tracker. I've got some cute little artwork featuring goblins that I couldn't resist cutting out of a package I got from a friend. This is a gift I got a while back. It says she believed she could, so she did. Love having that on display. Some Ukrainian stuff, some patches, Ukrainian flag. I have some more pins to add here, but those are just some army pins. Okay, let's get to the actual desk really fast. I keep writing resources and currently reading books right here, notebooks, planner as well. Got some markers in that tin, scriptures, my pencil case, and then here's obviously just my work area. I do try to keep what's in these drawers limited to writing. I keep like office and financial stuff separate, just so this area feels very creative and non-stressful. So that is my writing area. I really like it. I'm happy how it turned out. Last but not least, we have my printing station. Oops, come here, chapstick. We have my printing station, which features a Cyrillic keyboard. I think this is Russian Cyrillic. Yeah, this is a Russian Cyrillic keyboard. Haven't ever used it because some of the keys are sticky, but it's just fun to have it on display. And I actually had it in storage for quite a while and thought, you know, why not put it on this empty space here on this table and just add to the decor in the room. And then obviously I have my printer. I have a couple more copies of The Elf and the Goblin that I have to take to people in person, and then the Mistborn trilogy, which I borrowed from a friend. So I really need to get to those and read those. But yeah, that is how my writing and reading room turned out. I absolutely love it. The only thing I'm thinking about changing in sometime in the near future would be to get some cool posters or artwork to put on this wall, because I do feel like it's rather empty looking. Possibly some on that wall, or that section of that wall, but that might be too cluttered. But I would like some stuff right here. I think that would be awesome. Oh my gosh, it is a hot day. I am looking shiny. Sorry about that, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of my space. If you have any fun suggestions for how I can spruce up the decor some more or organize things better, I am totally open to suggestions like that, because I am not that good at organizing. So please tell me how to improve things. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys had a good rest of your week. And as always, happy writing. Bye.